So Ana Kasparian is
fan.
honored to interview Madeleine Albright. So this is a person that has talked about how Tulsi, supports a Hindu fascist, how she's a Hindu fascist, how she's anti-Muslim. We can't, support her, blah, 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 blah. But Ana Kasparian has taken it on her own to interview Madeleine Albright. Now, I have no problem, and let me be very clear, I have no problem with interviewing war criminals. I think we should interview them, expose them as what they are. We should talk to them and get the public to know why they are what they are, not let them get away with things. Talk to our enemies. I'm 100% on board with that. That's why I like Tulsi Gabbard. There's a difference between doing that and saying you are honored and praising these people and giving them a platform to continue pretending they are anything more than war criminals.
Sophia
there is
unreal.
There is Ana Kasparian, and she's over here. Let's just play a little bit of that, Johnny.
Oh my God, the beginning too, when she's
I am delighted to be here and to have a conversation with the former U.S. Secretary of State under Bill Clinton, Madeleine Albright. And Madeleine Albright was actually the first female Secretary of State in the U.S. And it is a pleasure to have you here. It's an honor to have a conversation with you.
Well, I'm delighted to be interviewed by you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I am delighted to be here and
Okay, so they're both delighted. They're just delighted. They're just so delighted. As a Secretary of State under Bill Clinton, pasta.
Yes.
What did she do?
What
didn't she do?
What didn't she do?
It's more
and
of the
stuff like
question.
that. I still remember her saying with Hillary Clinton, there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women, telling young voters in this country that they need to support Hillary Clinton just because she's a woman. And let me tell you something. You want to talk about Kosovo, you want to talk about all that shit when it comes to Madeleine Albright. Yeah, she was also part of the sanctions that were really struck on Iraq and all these children that died because of them. She's no friend to progressives whatsoever.
Not at all. Not only is she not a friend of progressives, but saying you're delighted to have her on is that's just ridiculous. And you shouldn't be so you should be like, okay, so let's go over your record. Let's do this, right? But then on top of that, Johnny, I added right under that Ana Kasparian made a tweet today talking about how she reads Tulsi Gabbard's mind. She reads her mind, and she said, let me pull it up right here. This is what she said. She said, and this is in regards to why Tulsi dropped out to endorse Bernie. She's saying, no, she didn't resign from the DNC on principle.
Kamala?
No, this is about Tulsi.
Oh,
she didn't resign
gotcha.
from the DNC on principle.
Oh.
She was already having issues with Dems due to her constant criticism of the left, not referring to terrorist acts as radical Islamic terrorism. She also refused to condemn Modi in House resolution following the slaughter of Muslims. Okay, so first of all, how is she going to know why Tulsi Gabbard decided more than Tulsi Gabbard? Tulsi Gabbard has talked about her dropping out to endorse Bernie Sanders because of Hillary Clinton's foreign policy. She specifically named Clinton's foreign policy. She was on Fox criticizing the Obama administration under Secretary of State Hillary Clinton because of Hillary Clinton's numerous coups and Obama's drones and Obama not separating between radical Islamic terrorists. So a lot of people want to twist us and say, oh, she wanted Obama to call them radical Islamist terrorists. Yes, he should have. You know why? Because the moment you don't separate actual normal faithful Muslims from actual radical terrorists, it's the same thing as not separating Christian fundamentalists from the radical or from the normal Christians that simply have a belief system.
Yeah.
And when you don't do that, you are lying to the American people. You're dismissing the facts and you're covering it up. And Pasta said this multiple times too.
Well, Johnny, if you go to my Twitter real quick and just go into tweets and replies, that you just put up about what Ana was saying, and I'm just in awe because I'm reading her comment down below too as well when she talks about, I don't support the lawmakers who voted for the favor of banning Syrian refugees.
Right.
Go hit tweets and replies, and I think it's the
We
second one
already
down.
know why she voted for that.
That one right there. Now look what this says right here, and I'm going to say this plain and simple because, wow, you've become full-blown part of the misinformation generation of hacks working for the establishment. The radical Islamic terrorist label was specifically meant to describe the craziest jihadists the U.S. funded in Syria. Timber Sycamore, hashtag Look it up. And that's what they
Exactly.
were talking about, because it was really disingenuous when Obama was going around saying these moderate rebels.
she responded to you.
Moderate rebels. This was disgusting.
She responded to you. That
That's
was
not-
your response. That was to you.
That was not to me.
That was to you.
That's
that was
to me?
You. Yes, that's to you. That's how Twitter works. It says yo pasta.
Okay. Oh, so she is replying to me. I don't support lawmakers who voted in favor of
Yeah.
So I have to respond back to her as well when it came to that system as well, because we understand that what system? We have to get off, I know, real quick and stuff like that. When the immigration system, it really favors the people who are political friends of their establishment, of who we let in and who we don't let in. Okay, we talk about the people in Venezuela, who we let in and who we didn't let in. It's the same thing, and Tulsi's explained a position earlier when it comes to the Syrian refugees. Okay, and once again, it was just a system where anybody can squeak by. Didn't the attackers of 9/11 from Saudi Didn't they get?
It's the same mentality. Like if you don't separate who is an actual threat, what people like Donald Trump and people that have bred hatred for all Muslims are going to do is they're going to put that label on everybody, and that's why she voted that way. And you can take the nuances, you don't even have to agree with it, but that is a sort of mindset that is very logical, and it's not based on reactionary emotional things without understanding the greater spectrum of things. And
what is this here
that's
too, right
what it
after,
is
too? It's just, I also don't support lawmakers who undo protections for African Americans who have been preyed upon by auto lenders. Are they going full-blown identity politics at TYT now? I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
$20 million from Katzenberg. Really?
They have gone. I mean, why don't you just get on MSNBC and go on with Rachel Maddow now, Anna? Seriously, that's what you got? Please.
Tulsi is terrible. No amount of yoga videos on her page under her record.
Where are you? Oh, you know what? And once again, you're sidestepping the question and back to fact. Why don't we stay on your first freaking remark? Okay, the radical Islamic terrorist. We know specifically who she was talking about. And let me tell you something else with this whole Hong Kong thing going on. We're talking about when Nancy Pelosi goes and talks about the Uyghurs in China. Well, it was us supporting this Wahhabi caliphate, this monarchy in Saudi Arabia, who's caused problems with the Uyghurs over there. It's always us at the end of the day. And that's what Tulsi's trying to do right here, is point out who's what. Okay, these are Saudi-funded, crazy jihadists. Now we're in China, they're over here. Our government's into it, and now you're into it too as well.
Our government creates them, so
bullshit.
I gotta go.